everybody. Today we're going to go over least common multiple, also known as LCM. A least common multiple means what is the smallest multiple that two numbers share. So let's remember what a multiple is. If I have 7, the first 5 multiples of 7 will be 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35. One thing I want you to remember is that multiples can infinitely go up, along with the first multiple of every number is going to be itself. So for example, if I had 6, the first multiple of 6 is going to be itself, 6, followed by 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, so on and so forth, infinitely, okay? So when I find the least common multiple of two numbers, I'm looking for the smallest number, the smallest multiple that two numbers share. Okay, so let's do a couple examples to see if we can figure this out. So the first example would be this list. So let's find the least common multiple of 7 and 6. Okay, so I'm going to keep going with 7. A couple more, 42. 49, okay? And then I'm going to keep going with 6. I'm going to have 42, 48, and I can go on and on. So I want to look, what is the smallest number that both 7 and 6 share? Well, I see that 7 and 6 share 42. There is no number from before that they share, so the LCM of 7 and 6 is going to be 42, okay? So let's do another one and possibly even do another strategy, okay? So let's look at 18 and 63. Well, if I was going with 18 and 63, this one's a little bit harder. I have 18, 36, 36 plus 8, 36 plus 18, maybe 14, 54, okay, plus another 18, is going to be 72, so on and so forth. Then I have 63. It's going to be 63, 126. I already see that my numbers are kind of large here, so I'm going to have to go much larger with my 18. So maybe sometimes a list is not always going to be the best strategy. So I'm going to teach you another strategy that could help you figure out the LCM of 18 and 63. So let's try a factor tree. 18 and 63. So I'm going to break up 18 into 3 times 6 and find a product of primes of 3 times 3 times 2. And then I'm going to go over 63 and do 9 times 7, and then I'm going to do 3 times 3 times 7. Okay? The first thing I'm going to do is look at the product of primes. So I'm looking at the bottom line of both numbers. I'm going to look for a number that they have in common. I see that 3 is in common, and I also see that there's another 3 in common. This may be a familiar strategy because this is the greatest common factor. So now I'm going to use that greatest common factor to help me find the LCM. I'm going to take my greatest common factor and I'm going to multiply everything that is in a partner. So I'm going to multiply this 2 and I'm going to multiply this 7. So when I multiply 9 times 2, I get 18, and 18 times 7 is 126. This is my lowest common multiple of 18 and 63. So let's do a couple to see if we can go through this. Let's do 30 and 50. So I got 30 and 50. Now again, you're allowed to use whatever strategy you feel is best. I'm just going to keep showing you using a factor tree. So 3 and 10, 3 is prime, but 10 is not. 5 and 2. Then I got 5 and 10. 5 is prime, but 10 is not. And I got 5 and 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to circle all the partners. I got a 2 and a 2. I'm going to bring it down. Then I have a 5 and a 5. I'm going to bring it down. Okay, again, this 10 is my GCF, my greatest common factor. So I take my GCF and I multiply everything I didn't touch, 3 and 5. So 10 times 3 is 30, times 5 is 150. Okay? That's going to be my LCM. All right? Why don't you try out 20, let's try 24 and 36. If you like to pause the video right now before I go through the answer to try it out on your own, I would recommend that. So go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do it. So now I got 12 times 2, 6 times 2 times 2, 3 times 2 times 2 times 2. Here I got 6 times 6, 3 times 2 times 3 times 2. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to circle my partners. I have a partner of 2 and 2. I'll bring that down. I have a partner of another 2 and 2. And I have a partner of 3 and 3. So if I were to multiply this, 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12. That's my GCF. Then I'm going to take that 12 and multiply it by the numbers that were not circled. 2 times 3. Okay? So now I have 12 times 2, which is 24, times 3, which is 72, which is my LCM. Okay? Let's just do one more just to make sure we got this. So let's do 84 and 100. Again, if you'd like to pause the video right now to make sure that you know how to do this before I go through it, I would definitely recommend to pause the video now. Okay, I'm going to go through this. So 4 goes into 84 21 times. 4 is not prime, so 2 times 2. Neither is 22, so that's going to be 3 times 7. 100 is going to be 10 times 10. I'm going to break that down to 5 times 2 times 5 times 2. Okay, now I'm going to look for partners. I have a partner of 2 and 2. I have a partner of another 2 and another 2. Okay, I don't see any more partners. 4 is my GCF. So I'm going to take 4 times 3 times 7 times 5 times 5. So here I have lots of numbers. So I know, I'm going to break this down. So I know that 4 times 3 is 12 times 7 times 25. Okay, 12 times 7, I'll do that on the side of my paper. 12 times 7 is going to be 84 times 25. Okay, I'm going to 0, 2, 42, add a 0, 8, 16, 0, 0, 11. So my LCM is 2100. This is definitely a case you don't want to use a list. I want to show you one more example of what happens when I have small numbers like 3 and 7. Okay, these are both prime numbers. I can't break them down anymore. So when I cannot break them down and I have 0 partners, I just multiply the numbers together. So LCM would be 21. Okay? Let's say I don't have prime numbers, but they don't have any common factors. For example, if I have 3 and 20. Okay? 3 is prime, so I can only break that down to 3 and 1. But 20 is not. So 5 times 4. 5 times 2 times 2. They don't have anything in common. So I have to bring everything down. 2 times 2 times 5 times 3. So I have to bring all the primes over and multiply them. Basically, I'm multiplying 20 times 3, and 60 is my LCM. So I just wanted to give you an example of what happens when they don't have anything in common. So let's just recap. First thing, you're either going to make a list of multiples, or you're going to make factor trees to find the product of primes. Product of primes. Then you are going to circle pairs. Okay, especially if you're using a factor tree. Here you just circle the common multiples. But if you're going to circle pairs, okay, which is going to be the GCF. Then you're going to take the GCF and you're going to multiply it by everything without a partner. Okay? Hopefully that helps you out. You have homework questions tonight, so do the best you can. If you have any questions, be sure to ask me in class. Have a great night.